Hi, Taehyung Lovers. Welcome back to the Taehyung Lovers channel all around the world, and this time, don't you dare skip the first 3 seconds. Because July 2026 in Tokyo wasn't just an opening, it was a warning. If you missed it, you lost a moment that made thousands fall silent, then asked with almost anger, how is it possible that one person like Kim Taehyung could take over a city as massive as Tokyo without even seeming to try? This isn't just a concert. This isn't just a K-pop idol from BTS. This is a global phenomenon that breaks industry logic when one name dominates the stage, the city screens, and worldwide trends all at the same time. And what's even more shocking, the public is starting to split between admiration and disbelief. In this video, we're going to break down facts that will give you chills. A rare moment at Tokyo Dome where brand ads and fan love collided in one layer. Why Japanese and Korean media call Taehyung the center of gravity of the world tour. Real data from Google Trends proving his dominance all the way to America. The seconds of performance army called time-stopping. And the reason why some people are starting to question, is this still a group or has it turned into the era of one name? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because on this channel, we don't just talk about K-pop. We uncover the reality behind global phenomena. And if you feel like the world needs to see this, don't hesitate to make it go viral so everyone knows that Kim Taehyung doesn't just shine, he changes the way the world sees an idol. Now stay here, because what you're about to see is no longer just a story, this is evidence. April 2026 in Tokyo wasn't just an opening, it was a warning. If you missed it, you miss a moment that made thousands fall silent, then asked with almost anger, how is it possible that one person could take over a city this big without even seeming to try? April 2026, and all eyes were on one name, Kim Taehyung, not just as a member of BTS, but as a phenomenon that goes beyond the stage, beyond concerts, beyond the very definition of an idol. Tokyo didn't just welcome him, Tokyo surrendered itself. Off stage, the atmosphere was already felt even before the concert began. At Tokyo Dome, brand advertisements featuring Kim Taehyung played right before fan ad projects for him, a rare moment where commercial power and fan love met in the same flow. This wasn't coincidence. This wasn't just scheduling. This was synchronization that felt almost like a grand scenario designed by fate and algorithms at the same time. Giant screens welcomed him before he even stepped onto the stage, as if the city itself had already stood up to pay respect. Welcome to Tokyo. Kim Taehyung, a sentence that felt like more than just a greeting. For one night, Tokyo seemed willing to revolve around his presence. The morning sky around Tokyo Dome City looked more alive than usual, not because of the weather, but because of one face dominating the city's digital skyline. Kim Taehyung. In seconds, massive screens usually filled with commercial ads turned into a grand stage, welcoming a global star with an atmosphere that felt almost like a historic event. This wasn't just advertising, this was a declaration of presence. The giant LED screen showed a close-up of Kim Taehyung's face swept from the stage, hair slightly falling onto his forehead, and a gaze that was both sharp and soft. There was something in that expression that couldn't be fully explained. A mix of a performer's charisma and an artist's silence. In the middle of Tokyo's chaos, that face stood still almost like a living painting. Many fans called this moment the gaze that stops time, and judging by the reactions, it wasn't hyperbole. It was emotional fact. This momentum became part of a massive wave leading into the BTS World Tour in Tokyo, where support wasn't only seen in sold-out tickets within minutes, but also in giant visuals wrapping the city. The NTT Docomo ad at Tokyo Dome wasn't just promotion, it was a symbol of welcome, a way for a great city to say, we are ready for you, Kim Taehyung. But this is where public emotion was triggered. Is this still about music, or has it become cultural dominance? This question didn't come from hate, but from shock, because what happened that night wasn't just a concert, it exploded into a global event. Spotlights pulsed like the heartbeat of the city. A sea of pink lights shimmered among tens of thousands of spectators. And at the center stood one figure controlling everything without seeming to try. Kim Taehyung. In multiple reports from Korean and Japanese media throughout April 2026, his name wasn't just mentioned, it was placed as the center of gravity of the entire BTS World Tour. From Japan to Goyang, he stood slightly leaning back, chest open, as if drawing energy from the air around him. The red bandana wrapped around his head gave a wild yet controlled impression. His facial expression, half-closed eyes, a firm jaw portrayed someone who didn't just perform, but brought the stage to life. The microphone in his left hand wasn't just a tool, it was an extension of himself. In those two major performances, his live vocals were reported to be nearly flawless, clear, stable, and full of emotion. But what set him apart wasn't just his voice, it was the way he controlled space. He didn't move with the music seemed to follow him. Every step, every pause, every glance felt calculated, yet natural. This is why the media called the performance explosive, not because of loudness, but because of its psychological impact. And this is where the public began to split. Some praised him as the new standard of a global performer. Others began to question, is this level of spotlight fair to the other members? The discussion exploded on social media, drawing thousands of comments within minutes, not because of controversy, but disbelief that one individual could draw this much attention on a stage as big as BTS. After the first concert, the phenomenon instantly echoed globally. Kim Taehyung became the only member to break into real-time trends in the United States, with a significant spike on Google Trends. This wasn't just temporary popularity, this was data. Concrete proof that one performance could cross language and geographic boundaries, reaching the emotions of a global audience simultaneously. But the second night solidified his status even more. He didn't repeat, he evolved. In every song, he brought a different character, as if one body carried multiple souls. In one moment, he appeared cold and mysterious, then in a split second transformed into a warm figure, inviting interaction. Every eye contact with fans felt like a small explosion. The stadium seemed to collapse under spontaneous screams. The title king of the stage given to him felt less like hyperbole and more like a natural conclusion from what was witnessed directly by tens of thousands and reinforced by millions more digitally. Shifting to the next visual, the narrative moved from intimate to epic. The same screen now displayed a Paradise City ad. Kim Taehyung appeared on the left, elegant, minimal, almost like a symbol of luxury itself. On the right, the grand Paradise City complex glowed in the night landscape, creating a contrast between human and architecture, between aura and space. The Japanese text alongside it felt less like promotion and more like an invitation into a dreamlike world. What made this moment echo wasn't just its scale, but the reaction that followed. Within minutes, fan accounts flooded social media with one word: found it! A simple exclamation reflecting a long search finally fulfilled. Army rushed to the location, wanting to witness firsthand how their icon took over the city skyline. Global searches surged, algorithms moved endlessly, and the name Kim Taehyung once again became the center of global attention. Yet behind all the dazzling visuals, it was the smallest detail that left the deepest impression. A clip of a smooth body spin, almost effortless, followed by a not entirely perfect split, then a landing on both hands. Instead of looking like a flaw, the moment felt human, even endearing. And this became the turning point in public perception. Perfection was his main appeal. Authenticity was what made him irreplaceable. From a bright morning to a glowing night, one thing became clear. Kim Taehyung didn't just appear on screens, he transformed public space into an emotional stage. He didn't just exist, he dominated, without forcing it. And perhaps this is the part that triggered the most questions, even slight anger from some. If one figure can create this level of impact, what is actually changing in the global entertainment industry? Amid all of this, fans stood, looking up, watching their idol shine in the Tokyo sky not as a reflection, but as the light itself. And now the question returns to you. Is this still just a concert, or are we witnessing the birth of a new standard that not everyone is ready to accept? At this point, we're no longer talking about a concert. April 2026 proved one thing that's hard for many to accept. When the world's eyes are fixed on one name, Kim Taehyung, the stage is no longer just a place to perform, but a tool to shift global perception, together with BTS. He didn't just fill a stadium like Tokyo Dome, he turned a city like Tokyo into part of the performance itself. From giant screens to global trending data to public emotional reactions, all point to one conclusion still being debated. Is this still about music, or has it become cultural dominance? Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because every detail you see here isn't just a story. It's part of the global phenomenon that keeps moving. If you don't like it, feel free to skip. Taehyung Lovers never forces anyone. But one thing is certain, facts cannot be ignored. Now we want to hear from you. Is this the peak moment of an idol, or the beginning of a new standard that not everyone is ready to accept? Write your opinion in the comments. And if you believe the world needs to see this, help it go viral, so the world continues to see the real side of Kim Taehyung. Stay tuned for the next updates only on Taehyung Lovers. Keep monitoring all updates about Kim Taehyung only on this channel. That concludes our meeting. Thank you, stay safe, and see you next time.